People, hey champs, so welcome you to another exciting episode on the Just Kinda. I'm really sure and excited that you learned a lot from the previous episode. And today I have yet another interesting topic for you. Stay tuned. Hi, we're back. Okay, so today I'll be talking to you about courage. What is courage? First of all, the Bible has something really interesting to say about courage. We're going to see what the Merriam-Webster dictionary has to say about courage. This dictionary states that courage is the mental, moral strength to venture, persevere, and withstand danger in fear or difficulty. Wow. So courage is actually the ability or the mental, moral strength to withstand or venture in times of difficulty or fear. So why would the Bible have examples of courage? Because it encourages us to be courageous. Damn. I have two beautiful examples on courage for you today, but I'll be starting with Gideon. Stick with me. Okay, so the people of Israel had sinned. They always sin, again. And they cried out to God for help, and God said, fine, I'll send you a savior. He told the prophet to prophesy, and yeah. But you see, the angel of the Lord appeared to a man called Gideon, and told Gideon that he was going to be the deliverer of Israel. Gideon thought, my clan, my tribe is the lowest in Israel, and I'm the least in my family. How am I gonna deliver Israel? But let me tell you something. God had more better plans for Gideon. So he decided to offer an offering to God, and he decided to also test God to be sure that God really knew what he was saying, by saying that he was going to deliver Israel. And then these are the two tests that Gideon gave God. At first he said, I'm going to put a fleece, that's a wool, outside. If by morning the wool is wet and the ground is dry, then that means you want me to lead Israel. The second test, he said, if the ground is going to be wet and the fleece dry by morning, then I know you want me to lead Israel. And that happened exactly as Gideon had tested God. So he was sure that God actually wanted him to deliver Israel from the hands of these people, the Midianites. So how exactly did Gideon actually do this thing? How did he defeat the Midianites that were oppressing the Israelites for many, many years? He blew a trumpet all around Israel, and 32,000 men gathered to go with him. 32,000 men. That's a whole lot. So these men actually agreed to follow Gideon to fight the Midianites. But God said, nah, this number is quite too large. Make an announcement. Anybody that wants to go home, anybody who's afraid to go home. Guess what? 22,000 people went home that day. And then God said, 10,000 is still too much. Take them to the river. River. Why? So he said, watch them as they drink. Anyone who, drinks the water directly from the ocean, from the river, is not fit for war. But whomever laps the water like a dog is fit for war because he is conscious. So he doesn't just drop his weapon and drink water. He's actually licking and drinking. God is wise. Anyways, Gideon ended up going with 300 men. And here was the strategy. At night to the day they were meant to fight, he gave them a torchlight and a lamp of fire. So they all circled round the Midianite camp and were waiting for Gideon's instruction. You might be wondering, how does courage play in this story? Do you remember our definition of courage? Courage is the mental, moral strength to venture and persevere in times of difficulty and fear. Gideon was the least in his clan and the least in his family. His clan was the least in Israel, but yet he trusted in God for him to deliver the Israelites. Here's how he did it at the Midianites camp. That night, the moment Gideon blew his trumpet, before he blew his trumpet, something actually happened. He was eavesdropping on the soldiers and the people of Midian at night. Actually, God had told him. He overheard somebody tell a soldier telling a fellow soldier that he had a dream, and sorry about that. And in that dream, a barley of loaf rolling from the camp of Israel rolled into the camp of the Midianites. That was proof that Gideon was going to win this battle. But you see, one really interesting thing about this battle was that all the countries in the east were actually fighting against Gideon So they were as many as the sand on the seashore. And so when Gideon heard this soldier telling a fellow soldier this dream, he actually knew he was going to win. And so this was the strategy. Gideon divided the men into hundreds and 3 groups all around the valley of these soldiers from the east. And then he gave them an instruction. He said, once you hear me blow the trumpet, you're going to throw in your torches, that the lamp torches, into the valley of the soldiers and shout, the sword for the Lord and the sword for Gideon. That was how Gideon actually successfully destroyed the people of Midian. And he did it with God's help because he was courageous. So courage is the ability to be able to venture, persevere in times of difficulty, fear. So Gideon was the least in his clan and he was able to do that. Another example of courage is, but because I don't want this video to be too long, I might do a different video on the story of Joshua. So I'd like for you to stick around that, and love you. I can't just say goodbye like that. If you'd like to be courageous like Gideon. Now, it is very possible for you to be as courageous as Gideon. Yes, because now Christ has died for us. He has taken away the sins of everybody and he has given us a new life. So if you'd like to be as courageous as Gideon was and not fear or fright at any single thing, you are supposed to be able to take on the challenges because you are bold. And you can only be bold if you have the Spirit of Christ in you. Gideon had the backings of God, but in our time we have the backings of Christ. We are like Christ, so we can be bold like Gideon was, and even bolder, and face and stand up to whatever situation. It could be a subject in school, it could be talking to crowds, whatever it is, you can actually drop out that act of being shy and become bold like Gideon. If you're ready to be bold like Gideon, say these words after me. Congratulations, welcome to the family. And so that spirit of shyness is gone, so now you can be bold and courageous like Gideon. Like I said, I'll do another video talking about the next person who was actually courageous in the Bible. I'd like for you to like, subscribe, and share this video to all your friends, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.